New real estate laws for selling your house in the state of Florida, matter of fact, nationwide. Honestly, one of the reasons it's so confusing is it's a nationwide solution to a local problem in a state that isn't Florida. Here in the state of Florida, not much has actually changed. We're going to go over it real quick. So the first thing that I'm going to talk to you sellers about is this right here. Now, and Chala's going to put it up in there so you can give it a little closer look. Why do you care about a buyer engagement form? Well, here's why. There's a lot of stuff in the media right now, a lot of talk, a lot of, oh, commissions are going away, all this sort of thing. To be very clear, the only thing that changed, the only thing that this whole thing changed in the state of Florida, in the entire state, is that we are no longer allowed to advertise what commission you are offering a buyer broker on the multiple listing service. Commissions aren't going away, or, here's the headline. Oh, you don't have to pay a buyer broker commission anymore. Well, you never had to. Honestly, you never had to pay a seller broker commission. You never had to use a realtor to sell your house. For sale by owner, there's a whole website. Commissions have always been negotiable in the state of Florida. And our contracts have always spelled that out. They've also always spelled out which portion of the commissions, which are now going to be called concessions on one side, which just to make it more confusing. But they've always been broken out in the contract as to this is the listing side commission, and then this is what is being offered to a buyer broker. It's always been in the contract. It's just a different contract that says the same exact thing right now and says, oh, we're sorry, we're not allowed to actually advertise this. So do I think that's a good thing for our sellers at large and for the public at large? No. But why is this piece of paper so important? So this piece of paper, basically, and our buyer broker agreement said this before, but this piece of paper explains how commissions are paid, who pays them, all those sort of things, and it has a couple of different things on it, right? So basically, this states that this is the amount of commission that I am eligible to receive as your buyer broker. This is, and then there's another separate section that says this is the amount that you will be responsible for, right? You will be responsible for this amount of commission, right? So here's how this works. To be clear, anybody that uses a buyer's agent is going to pay a commission of some sort or other. Assumedly, they're going to pay the best buyer broker they can find and all that sort of thing. There will be variations. Everything will be a little bit skewed for a little bit. But in general terms, this is basically stating that whether or not you are openly offering a concession now, rather than commission, because they had to change the word, which again, I don't think is helpful, and neither do most of my lenders, but a concession. So when we do a listing contract, the way that we do is we say, hey, this is what the listing side commission is, and this is what we suggest you offer to a buyer's agent. And the reason we do that is because we want to promote all of the buyer's agents out there to do their hardest to make sure they sell your house, and that gets you the most money. That's just sort of a basic macroeconomic thing. But now these fees will be set by the buyer broker. And the buyer, depending on what the buyer signs, will be, be responsible for part of those. In the end, it's still going to end up coming out of your pocket. Realize that. It's just a matter of how and how much, because now that is set by the buyer broker, not by you. It can be. There's ways we can get around it, but it's just going to be a little confusing for a while. So that's why this is important to you. In my professional opinion, I don't think that this whole thing is really a good thing for sellers or for the industry as a whole. I think actually it might help clean up the real estate industry and get rid of some realtors that can't figure out how to do this, which I'll be okay with that. But in the end, I'm not sure how much this is going to actually help you sell your house for more money. Anytime that we take something that was in the light and put it in the dark, I'm just generally against it. Anyways, there's a whole lot of, finesse type items that are going to be involved in this, but this is the general gist of how things will be done now. So anyways, if you're thinking about selling, my suggestion is this: sit down with a realtor that you trust and whether that be myself, hopefully, but if not, another realtor, and let them explain to you the whole sort of gist of how all of this is going to play out in your home sale, because things are going to be different. Will they be different in a positive way or a negative way? That's what we'll have to wait and see. But things are going to be different, and it is now going to be more difficult to market your home and get you the most amount of money. That is the one thing I can guarantee you. Hey, if you enjoy Questions from Chalo, why don't you be a part of it? Let us know what you want to hear about, and Chalo will ask me right here on live TV, kind of.